What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say, 41 of my Total Warhammer 3 Drycha Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Fort Bergris has fallen yet again to the aerial formation here, our Air Force, which has been working pretty good, specifically at taking settlements. The settlements aren't really designed to deal with these sorts of armies, which does, I guess, work out well for the fact that we built it, though I guess we can't use this army to really capture a settlement from the victory point, because aerial units can't do that. But still, when they can kill everything inside the fort, I suppose it doesn't matter that much. Now, we've done everything that actually needs to be done since the last episode, in terms of buildings and moving and stuff, and we have moved Drycha to the Witchwood, where she might get attacked by Malekith next turn. We have Grimgor, who may attack Delseth the Wild next turn. Then we have this stuff happening over here, surrounded by armies. In short, there's lots and lots of battle potential right now, and I'm pretty excited for it. Unless there's anybody to summon. I was thinking a hero, and I don't think there is. I guess we're good to go. Let's skip the rest of what we got. Unassigned skill points. What does Drycha have in unassigned skill points? If she gets attacked by... You know what? If she's gonna get attacked by Malekith and potentially 2 or 3 more armies back here, maybe we want to make sure that she's reasonably highly leveled. We are still holding on to the rest of these points, because I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do with them. Although at this point, perhaps, maybe we want to spend at least some of them. Well, we probably want at least 1 point in Mentor, regardless. Wait, let's see. Wait, we'll get 49 and then 50, so we'll get 11 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, assuming. 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So we'd have to skip Quartermaster in order to do that. The other option would be to get Quartermaster, but to skip the rest of her tree. Ooh, now you know what? I don't like that. I think we're skipping Quartermaster for her. Also, her army is quite cheap, so it's not even needed. I feel like we're much better off getting either Endurance of the Oak or Impenetrable Bark. Probably Impenetrable Bark. Her armor isn't all that high, and 30 armor is pretty darn decent. Yeah, I'd like to get Endurance of the Oak as well, but I'm not sure that we can. Alrighty, so let's get Melkoth's. 1 point in it, mostly because she has a more powerful version of it, yes? Yeah. So we'll max that out. And then we'll get 1 point in Mentor, because we want to transfer. Pit of Shades will be quite useful, and we don't have that lore here. Yeah, at the very least get Pit of Shades, because it's just such a glorious spell. Then, we get no benefit from either of these things, just to double check. Swinging Boughs, no, and Wings of the Forest, no. So we have everything we want out of that tree. Alright, which means we have 5 more points to spend. I did say I want Impenetrable Bark, and I think we are going to go for it. Then, if we ignore the rest of the Shadow Tree, and that includes the Enfeebling Foe, where do we spend the rest of the points? I guess we'll get Earthing. Well, Drycha does cast periodically, and especially Melkoth's, and sometimes you need the extra range afforded by the second tier of the casts, so... or the Overcast, rather. So we'll do that. And we could absolutely now get Magical Reserves and Arcane Conduit, and still have 2 points left over. I guess the question will be whether we want Occam's Mindrazor more, or Endurance of the Oak more. Because we basically have to pick one. And the answer is I'm not sure. Let's hold on to the rest of these points. There ain't much of them after all. Then we've got Coadil, who's getting stronger and stronger, and we still need to give him some items, but that'll happen later on. You can summon... Yeah, you summon a Manticore. Yes, great. You got plenty of armor. I think we give you Violent Delights. I would like to get him Deadly Onslaught, although, considering his massive amount of HP, his Endurance of the Oak would be helpful for him as well, but everything here would be helpful. We're going to max him out completely regardless. Yeah, so why not? Next up, you are nearly done. Okay, well, I don't particularly care for the Amber Spear. Let's just get you Violent... Oh, wait, do we have enough points? Let's say here, and then 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45... Yeah, we do. 46, 47, and something in there. Yeah, that's fine. Violent Delights it is. And then you... nearly another point in Mentor, which is great. More XP for all of our branch wraiths. Obviously, you're going to get Impenetrable Bark. Alrighty. Well, that's prepared. Let's end the turn. Let's see where we're getting attacked this time around. Probably could have checked Diplomacy, but I'm too excited for these fights. Nagaron, no, is going to wuss out. It looks like they attacked Avalorn. We succeeded in the ambush, which means we don't actually need to fight this one. They're too weak. Hopefully we don't take too much damage. Actually, we took way more damage than we should have, but we got a free Trickster's Helm out of it, so that's fine. Let's abduct those captives. Hopefully Kieran isn't holding that Trickster's Helm, though, because that would be a complete waste. And aha! Alright, now this one we're definitely fighting, and this one is going to be a toughie. 1, 2, 3... Oh, there was another Arachnarok, and there's 6 Arachnaroks, plus Grimgor himself, plus a bunch of elite units. Well, at least 2 regiments of Hernan and a lot of Cav. Alrighty. This should be a very interesting indeed. I'm not entirely sure whether we can pull it off, especially because the Arachnaroks are all going to be together and helping each other out. It'll really just depend on whether the bears can survive or not. Let's find out. Alrighty, here we go. I feel like it's been a while since I've been genuinely concerned about losing a battle in in one of the Drycha fights, or well, not Drycha's army, but in the Drycha campaign in general. And this is that battle. 6 bloody Arachnaroks in a neat little conga line, ready to take us on. I think we've prepared our counter as best we could, to the best of our ability, and with the limited resources and time that we had to prepare it. So basically just lots of bears with souped up anti-large bonus, and due to that office, so we got a plus 38 bonus versus a large, so a third again the damage that they normally do, which is pretty damn good. Should be pretty effective against the Arachnaroks. However, the Arachnaroks have 10,000 HP each, and it's quite a bit. We also do still have Grimgor to contend with, plus a River Troll Hag and a bunch of other units that may or may not be slouches either, so it should be a pretty interesting time. I suppose the best way to have actually fought the Arachnaroks would be to get a bunch of tree men to actually fight them, but alas, we do not have tree men, and it's not like we had the ability to get them in this army. Anyway, so this is also, I guess, the debut of a couple of regiments of renown that will not be in this army for more than probably this battle, or maybe a couple more battles, depending on what we decide to do. And the Great Stag Knights, the Lost Sylvan Knights specifically, which is a pretty nice unit, and they do have the Frostbite ability, so they will help in chasing stuff off. And then, of course, on the other side, we have the Wild Hunters of Kurnus, which have the magical damage, and also look like they do pretty good damage as well. Alright, well, we'll see how effective they all are. Alrighty, well, that's the setup. As it is an ambush, it may go quickly, so here we go. We've separated our units so that as many of our fast movers as well as our flyers, well, I guess those are fast movers as well, are going to hit all of the enemy cav and the enemy archers and whatever they can that isn't an Arachnarok. The idea is to kill everything not Arachnarok-like, and then deal with the Arachnaroks afterwards, because breaking through that 10,000 HP is going to take a while. The other portion of the plan involves separating the Arachnaroks as best we can, which seems to be partially working. Unfortunately, it does seem like these 3 are staying together, and these 2, however, are being distracted and chasing off some units, so we are going to back off and try to peel them away. And then it looks like there is one all by itself right here, which we should hopefully be able to then isolate and kill. And just like we dealt earlier with Throth the Unclean and his Hellpit Abominations, we isolate and we kill the big boys on the map. Alrighty, well, let's see about the damage here. Looks like the enemy archers are basically done, and the others, I'm sure, will follow suit shortly. And Grimgor is currently fighting our Zotes together with the Wild Hunters of Kurnos, and he is quite debuffed, though even with all those debuffs, he's only at 60 and 34, and still hits for a 901 weapon strength. Grimgor's scary, and he's only at level 21 at that. I'd love to see how he would fare against Drycha, actually, at some point. We'll see. We'll see if we can ever get Drycha to somewhere near Grimgor before he dies. I'm not sure his faction is all that big, which is kind of a problem. Oh well, and we'll see. There's that Flock of Doom coming down on all those gobos in the hopes that we can force them to rout. Two of the ARACHNAROKS look like they're starting to get surrounded, but still they are protecting each other, which is hurting us. And this one's by itself, but we're going to try to lead it away and into the forest, and the same thing goes for these guys. They're just going to try to lead them away and into the forest and even further if we can. We did, however, manage to surround that one ARACHNAROK over here that we were planning to surround. And it's looking fairly decently over here as well. 2 units of souped-up anti-large bears versus 1 ARACHNAROK. ARACHNAROK's still doing pretty okay here. It seems to have killed 6 bears already and taken a good, I don't know, 40% to 30% chunk off each of their HP, while it does still have about half of its own HP remaining. Though naturally it will rout before it reaches that half HP. As in the full amount, as in it won't drop to 0, it'll rout, is what I'm trying to say in a very roundabout way. Which should be good. Alrighty, how are you doing, buddy? You are now at 2.7k and shaking, and it looks like you'll be out of the picture shortly. That said, we are not completely coming out ahead. The balance of power is even, and now the balance of power is even despite the fact that our reinforcements are on the field, so that's taking now them into consideration. So we're clearly taking quite a bit of damage. Grimgor is absolutely ripping Dulcet apart. We are going to have to back him off lest he die, and hope that the Manticore or the Zotes can hold Grimgor back. We're actually popping the regrowth that is bound to our Zotes, and I'm really glad that we have it, on Dulcet in the hopes of once again and just making sure that he doesn't die here. Otherwise, it looks like we've managed to capture the River Troll Hag, or at least force her into combat rather than running away, and I do imagine the Wild Hunters of Kurnos should be able to bring her down over time. And the giant doggos are working overtime in the background, chasing around all those running units. All the cavalry and all the infantry and missile infantry need to be chased down and destroyed. Over on this side, the enemy ARACHNAROKS are attacking in overwhelming enough numbers so that our bears have absolutely no chance at fighting them, even with spiders and even in the forest. So yeah, 2 ARACHNAROKS and a unit of trolls plus some range support from the Goblin Wolf Archers are a little bit too much. On the bright side though, that ARACHNAROK that we surrounded is going to be the first of the spiders that we slay, and let's hope that there are many more throughout this battle. Ideally, we want to bring them all down so we don't have to fight this damn army again. Hopefully he doesn't just build another army with like 50 ARACHNAROKS. And then gets a wall with like a dozen more lava ARACHNAROKS. Would I be surprised? No. Would I be disappointed? Oh, I said that backwards, but whatever. Anyway, first of the ARACHNAROKS goes down, a little bit of shake to the screen, and but that signals the first. It looks like the second is also in the in a rout, and we are going to have to chase it down. Single unit should be much easier to bring down here, especially as we are bringing more and more units to bear against these ARACHNAROKS. We do have quite a lot more units working together here than we did in the form of these two bear units that brought the other one down. That said, over on this side where we got those other ARACHNAROKS peeled away from the rest of the army, we were forced to essentially abandon that fight here. Some of the bears got badly hurt. I think one of them ran off the map, and I think the other one came back here afterwards. Which means that both of those ARACHNAROKS as well as that unit of trolls are going to come back to haunt us shortly, so we have to do as much work as we can. And once again, just like the Hell Pit Abomination, I am finding that the giant wolves do pretty darn good at damaging the ARACHNAROKS, because a lot of them attack at the same time. Ideally, what was happening here a few seconds ago would happen, where the ARACHNAROK would attack something like a Manticore, a single entity, while the wolves do damage so that they didn't take splash damage, killing like 8 of them in a single bite or stomp or whatever it is the ARACHNAROKS do. Anyway, it looks like 2 more ARACHNAROKS are about to be gone. Actually, 3 more are about to be gone. 1 is still being chased, but these 2 are steady but very badly damaged. Actually, this one's shaken, and hopefully we'll bring those 2 down. In the meantime, Grimgor is still at about half HP and is still fighting. He's been fighting those Zoats, he's been fighting those Hawks, well, he's been fighting anything he can get near. But at least I'm sure he's enjoying it. This is Grimgor after all. I heard he's the bestest. Alrighty, how are we doing here? Looks like both of these ARACHNAROKS are now out of the picture. We're still very heavily damaged now. Most of our bears are in very bad shape. Even the Lost Sylvan Knights are down to about 1/3 of their HP. But the balance of power has certainly shifted in our favor. The sheer amount of enemy troop count has dropped to 140, meaning that most of the enemy infantry and such have either been destroyed or seen off the map. I'm thinking that if we can get just a few more, we may be able to force the rest of the enemies to rout. Alrighty, and there's our Ancient Tree Man trying to help the bears out and doing a little bit of extra damage to that ARACHNAROK. We just have to be real careful here in the situation, since Grimgor hurt our lord so badly. Or so bad, rather. Alrighty, but fortunately it looks like that ARACHNAROK is done for, and the second one, or the last one, the 6th one, is now broken. Wavering and then broken because the rest of the army is done for, despite the fact that the last ARACHNAROK had full HP. That said, the others were all very close to death. Well, this one only had 666, 665, 664 HP. Wow, it only takes 1 HP per hit? That's really not a lot. 663, it must be spiders. Yeah, it's the spiders attacking it. I was wondering what was doing no damage to it. I mean, you gotta work through that 120 armor as well. Which is quite a lot. Well, we'll be chasing down that ARACHNAROK as best we can, as well as, well, every other ARACHNAROK that's still alive, and frankly, every other unit that's still alive. But Grimgor is still on the field. He's still got a good 3,000 HP, he's done 16k damage already, and he's been basically fighting non-stop since the beginning of the fight. What a beast. Just taking on Zoats and bears non-stop. And I think he killed a bunch of hawks as well, which fortunately did peel away to chase stuff down, but still. Good job to Grimgor. And man, despite the fact that he's shorter than Zoats are, he makes the Zoats look small, doesn't he? He's a lot thicker than the Zoats are, that's for sure. And down goes another Zoat, and he pops his, I want to say, was that the Armor of Blood? Bloodforged Armor, rather? Or was that the Gitsnik ability? I think that was the Gitsnik ability. The Bloodforged Armor, like, explodes bloodily? I guess we'll see. Let's see if he activates anything again. And this is the last unit on the field, and it looks like it's going to be the last unit on the field for a while yet. That's another minute of him just fighting by himself, and he's only lost 700 HP in all that time. And he is not running here because he is in fact unbreakable. Oh, okay, yeah, I guess that was the Bloodforged armor effect. Yeah. I didn't see the bloody smoke the first time. Another bear goes down. And yet another, damn. A bear a swing is pretty darn good, but that's okay, our reinforcements are here, some Wildwood Rangers now to take the hits since we don't care about what kind of casualties these suffer. And on the bright side, they deal armor-piercing damage as well. The bears are now going to return, charging into the back of Grimgor. We're also bringing the Treekin and our Lord forward in the hopes of finally bringing him down. He's now at 22k and over HP or damage dealt. Our Lord's moving in and hopes to debuff him and just finish him off. But it looks like Grimgor is going to turn and start hitting our Lord as well. And there's another Bloodforged armor. And there we go, our Lord moved in, but we're going to get him the heck out of there. That your next debuff really hurts. Look at how low those stats went. Oh, I didn't see, did he have like 8 melee defense or something silly like that? Yeah. Not gonna stand up to Grimgor's 98 melee attack, it's for damn sure. And we obviously don't want our Lord killed after all this. Man, I'm not even sure who was tougher, Grimgor or the ARACHNAROKS. Yeah, we certainly will need a couple of Manticores in this army. I'm certainly foreseeing a problem with this, with single entities like this. Yeah, bears can handle the ARACHNAROKS to some degree, but we need to be able to assassinate things. Especially if our Lord fails to do so. And there we go, Grimgor finally goes down, and the blood and bits of the units that he was absolutely slaughtering. A Pyrrhic victory for us, but a damn worthwhile one, especially as there was a good chance we would have lost. Only 4 Zotes remaining after Grimgor's ministrations, less than half, I think, of the Sylvan Knights, or Knights of the Great Stag. Damn. And a dozen of the bears. Lots and lots of the bears were also at a sliver of HP remaining. Anyway, let's see the actual damage here. Ooh, man, oh man, I will readily admit that that was touch and go there for a bit. That was just way too many ARACHNAROKS to deal with, though fortunately our bears did manage to bring them down in the end. Plus, speaking of in the end, Grimgor. Grimgor was an absolute monster. He was more monsters than anything we brought to bear, that's for certain, and he was just so tough to bring down. Man. The ARACHNAROKS all died or ran while Grimgor just kept on fighting. 27k damage, and I think he got the MVP by far. Very nice, Grimgor, very nice. Now we're gonna heal up, we're gonna want to auto-resolve these two. At the very least. Well, I guess he did attack us. I'm really glad that the ambush worked. Might have been considerably worse if it hadn't. You want a peace treaty? That's not going to happen. We will be destroying you for good fairly shortly. Assuming that we succeed. And what do we have here? We have another big old battle with, ooh, Throt the Unclean and Azazel coming in at the same time, and Tala and co are hurt. Now, this is going to be another big cinematic battle, so I know that this is going to be calling this early, but I think this battle is going to take a good 10 minutes at least. It's looking like one of those longer battles, so I think we will actually save this for the next episode. So I'll call this here. We will start off with this next time around, and then we will be fighting both Throt and Azazel. I guess it'll be another down to the wire sort of battles because both Azazel and Throt are very tough to bring down. And they've got some decent troops as well. They've got 2 exalted heroes and a chieftain and another sorcerer. Well, Throt and Azazel and 2 exalted heroes and a chieftain are a lot of powerful heroes that should be difficult to bring down. Should be a pretty interesting time, so stay tuned for next episode. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.